Hey friends, namaste, satnam, welcome to IamWoke. I am your host, Emelina. Today we're going to go through a collective Akashic Records reading and Pleiadian message channel for the full moon in Aquarius on August 22nd. It is at this time that we bring a message to you of great clarity. For this is the time of the clearing of the mind. This is the time where the fog parts and where you step forward into clear thinking, clear knowing, clear perception. Your psychic abilities may be far amplified at this time. You may be feeling that there's more information than you see within your physical reality and physical world. That there's something that you can feel and know from this place now that you know would be an extrasensory ability. Whether it's clear knowing, where you just know something, sight, sounds. We'd really like you to explore at this time the space between the things, the space where all of the information exists. It's almost like you're a supercomputer, and the mental clarity at this time is enabling you to tap into the matrix of the supercomputer and download what you need really clearly and obviously as programs, as simulations that would support you in your reality. And think of this also as a good time with this full moon to go through and pull the mental thought patterns and chains of events and programs that aren't working for you and toss them in the trash. If you're putting this into a computer, you're just gonna go and delete that trash and get rid of it. It's super simple and easy at this time. We would certainly implore you to begin thinking about what you consider reality. We know obviously you consider your physical world to be reality, but there are other realities that coexist on top of yours that are just as real, but just a shade different in how they present themselves. The psychic activity at this time is very, very high. For those of you that have psychic abilities, many of you have psychic abilities, even if you think you don't. Now is a good time to begin tapping into them and training yourself to be curious, training yourself to notice when they arrive, when they are present, when you have a little tap or like a nagging feeling, something that's pulling your attention that says read between the lines here, feel between the lines here, see between the lines here. It is as if you are perceiving through veils of space and time reality. So consider yourself in your present reality as if you are looking through a stained glass window with different colors and textures of glass, looking into another room, and that another room is another reality. And then through that reality, there's another stained glass window, and you can see into the next room with the next reality. Although those realities don't feel as clear as this one, because the frequencies are slightly different, and you're looking from this reality into the others, which colors the other realities. You can still feel the energetic texture of these between the veil places, and that's the space that we would employ you to really look at this time. Give yourself the permission during this full moon to feel the presence of the amount of energetic texture that is around you, of the different frequencies of information that are presenting themselves to you. At this time, you are more connected to everything around you than you ever have been. Your thoughts are constantly transmitting a frequency to others, to other people, to other realities, to other environments, to the things within your reality, to the earth, everything. It would be interesting for you to see yourselves as a radio tower. Each one of you is a transmission tower, and you have a certain amount of information, and that information is experience that you've lived, that you've seen, whatever experiences you have. And you are that tower, and you're transmitting a frequency out into the universe from this planet Earth. You're transmitting thoughts and emotions, and those things go out into the ether. And everyone does this on Earth. Everyone's doing this all the time and transmitting all these different frequencies. And those of you that are on harmonious frequencies match up and link up and connect. But there are neighboring frequencies as well, and depending on where you are for the day, you can drop or raise within your frequency and drop and raise within your emotional vibratory experience, which will then drop or raise the sorts of experiences that you attract to you from others. So it's important to understand just how thin these veils are, to feel the veils, not from a place of fear that there are other realities, but from the place of knowing that you are in such a changeable space that if you are not enjoying part of your experience now, it's so malleable and so easily changed when you change your frequency, when you change your transmission, what frequency of energy you're transmitting out, when you change how you react with what is coming towards you and change your response to it. You can change the entire dynamic of your world in a moment. You can change yourself in a moment. Part of what is highly available right now is that you are all available to upshift, to upgrade and elevate your experience, to elevate your frequency. Part of that elevation is understanding where you are now, understanding how that is relevant to what is surrounding you and around you, and understand your preference. Your preference could be as simple as wanting more joy, wanting to experience more happiness, wanting to be more relaxed. And then when you begin to sit within that new frequency, which is the choice and the decision of wanting to be in relaxed mode or in a joy mode per se, you want a joyous experience, then everything like a Rubik's Cube begins to shift around you within the matrix of your reality to create more of that for you from the place of the law of attraction working with you. We know this is a little bit more of an abstract mental conversation. We hope this is reaching you where you can feel the energy now of what we are saying, so that if it doesn't click mentally, that it will set in a transmission and you'll have the availability of this energy later to come to you in a way that you will understand. There is an opening portal right now where there really is a very simple shift, as we said, a click into place, where you are able to just quickly shift who you are, to change just a small facet of your experience and how you perceive the space between all of the things and the realities, so that you can be in preference with something that's more harmonious to you, so that you can receive effortlessly the type of experience you prefer. Things being more easy for you. People coming into your life that somehow synchronistically were planted into your experience as if somebody had planned it for you. Where all of the events you needed to happen just seemingly lined up into place as if the planets aligned for your specific achievement of your goal, mission, or purpose. That is what is happening right now. In simple terms, we'll say for each of you, it is as if the planets are aligning for you. And in that place, it is important for you to be in alignment with what it is you're looking to create. This is going to be individually different for each and every one of you, so we cannot go into the complexities of what that would look like for you all individually. However, the structure of the energy right now during this full moon is knowing that there is so much power in just a click, a shift into place where you are all of a sudden in alignment with all of the planets, all of your spirit guides, all of your experiences, where all of a sudden it is a dead shot win, where many of you would see this as like winning the lottery. We're not saying you're going to win the financial lottery and etc. in each of your states. What we are saying is that this is the energetic lottery and you've already won. It's just about clicking yourself into place, bringing yourself into immediate alignment with all the synchronicities, all of the things that the universe is trying to bring to you and has been trying to bring to you, that has been aligning everything for you. And it's not just up to you to get yourself into the position of receiving, into the position of knowing that it's yours, into the position of knowing that the veils of the world are very thin. So if you want to change your experience, which you're all asking for pretty much every moment of every day, it is just about you clicking into place with the new experience. You allowing that experience to come to you easily. You releasing control, and the opposite of control is curiosity. Instead of gripping the people around you and gripping to force and cajole things to work out for you, we would employ you to sit back and say, I'm curious to how this can work for me. I'm curious to how things can fall into alignment for me at this time. I'm curious to see how this supports me at this time. I'm curious to see how I've attracted these experiences to me and what they may mean for me. I'm curious to see what all of this has to offer. I'm curious just to be here. I'm curious to understand more of myself and how I interact with my environment. And I'm curious about my own extrasensory psychic abilities. Even though many of you think you may not have that many abilities, you do. It's just that you turn off aspects of it in order to focus on a more physical reality. But at this time, all of these psychic portals are open to you. Those of you who have been asking for more psychic abilities can access them now. It is more about tapping into the curiosity. The curiosity from yourself is what opens the doors of the experiences. It opens a new opportunity, one door after another, when you open yourself up to be curious. The curiosity itself is what creates the synchronicities. It's what creates the favorable experiences where previously they didn't exist. The curiosity, your curiosity as a human, is what creates the universe wanting to meet you where you are without additional effort. There's no work or cajoling or manipulation or control to do. Just the act of being curious is enough. The act of being curious says, I'm open and available for something that I can't see yet. The key is the yet. The curiosity is implying that there's something beyond what the eye can perceive physically. It's implying that spirit exists to support you. It's implying that there are more resources available for you coming right now to you in this moment. The curiosity is an act of faith, dear ones. It's a connection to all that there is and all that exists right now. It's the connection to the veils of the realities within the realities within the realities that you can see through the different stained glass windows. It's the connection to all of your spirit guides and all that is. It's your connection to source. At this time, during this full moon, it is the most important to remain curious, to be curious, to look at your environment as a curious playground of space where there are so many different things that you can interact with. And in this case, the things are thoughts, actions, emotions, vibrational realities. How can you give yourself the time to be more playful in your exploration of yourself, in the exploration of different thought patterns that come from being curious? It's not necessarily about committing mentally to one set of thought patterns, as much as it is seeing yourself sitting in a meditative position in the middle of a wheel or a sphere where there are many, many, many different paths around you and you have so many options to choose from. So why would you lock into just one option? You wouldn't yet. You would actually open your mind and say, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how this will work. I'm curious to see what will come of this. I'm curious to see how this will support me. And as you say that in the sphere, you see all of these lines of frequencies coming towards you, right? Supporting you in all of the different events that can happen, all of the different information that can be presented. And all of this is psychic activity that you're now perceiving through this mental space of curiosity. It's quite simple. We are oversimplifying it for you in hopes that many of you will sit for 5 minutes after this video and just be curious. To open yourself up mentally to have so many more options. Whatever the options are, even if they're wild. They could be wild or crazy options. They could be fun options. They can be options that you don't prefer. But part of that is some of the curiosity as well. The point is for you to open yourself mentally to so many different options that are actually available for you at this time. And then as you peruse your options in the curiosity, it will become very obvious which ones you prefer. And from there, you can accept the joy that comes from the act of having a preference. The joy of receiving the preference. And as you have that joy around it, it locks in possibilities that are similar to that aspect of joy that you are emitting into your environment. So instead of choosing or controlling one reality that you mentally think is the best reality, which is what most of you do. I want this to happen. I want this person to take this action. I want things to be done this way in this particular order. Otherwise, I can't be available for it. That's typically the mentality many of you have. But the key, the beauty of this full moon is that there's a different portal opening for you that will make it easier for you to manifest everything that you're looking for and more. And that portal is the portal of curiosity. It's about realizing that through curiosity, you open up dozens and thousands of options. Within those options, you use your extrasensory abilities, the feelings you have in your body, the feel into the space between, and you will know what options you will have preference for. And then in expression of that preference, you lock in the highest potential realities or experiences that will be able to come to you. And what Emelina is seeing at this time is, whereas before you were creating, you were manipulating one reality, when you do this method with the curiosity, you can open up dozens of realities that are actually of higher preference than whatever it was you were asking for before. It's better, much better. You'll be so much happier with them. It's like the 10th degree. They're the miracles, the options you've all been looking for. And instead of locking into one reality, it can open dozens or thousands of options of realities that you would prefer and be happy with. And if you think about it, when you're emitting to the universe, my life, my reality, my experience has to be done in exactly this way. You're saying, I'm only available to one set of synchronicities, and it has to happen just like how I've planned in my head, mentally. When you go from the place of curiosity, you lock into what the preference is and the joy around the expression of that preference that you have. You open up to thousands of potential realities, which makes it very easy for the universe to meet you halfway and to bring that reality to you, because you've given so many different options to the universe, so the universe can flex with the different environments, the different people around you, and very easily bring to you what you're looking for. Another example we can give to you is when you lock into a single reality and you manipulate and control, it has to happen this way or else I'm not going to be happy. It is like trying to drink the ocean through a straw. And we know that sounds ridiculous, and that's why we're saying it this way. You cannot drink, you can drink a straw's worth of ocean through the straw, but you're trying to drink the entire ocean through a straw. You're asking for the entire ocean worth of money and lovers and experiences and great work environments and colleagues and everything under the sun, but you're trying to force it through a tiny straw. You can't fit that amount of abundance through a straw. Wouldn't it be better to show up with buckets or boats or anything else you can invent to carry your abundance to where it needs to go? So when you do what we say in this methodology, when you show up with curiosity, essentially you're showing up with many boats on the ocean that are ready to carry the waters of your abundance and prosperity. Dear ones, we hope this makes sense. This was a more mentally stimulating conversation, but again, you will receive the transmission downloads no matter what, so that you can receive this information in a way that is best for you, that you best internalize and intellectualize on your time. This is one of our more favorite topics to talk on, for it is so dynamically present and not understood by too many humans, so it's something we love to share and entice you to engage with the level of curiosity, similar to the curiosity that a child has. Many of you forgot what it is like to think and feel and act this way. You were taught not to. Don't ask questions, don't be curious, just take the rules as they're given to you. This is the society you've been built into, and it's all right, but at this time you can let go of those rules and you can re-engage the inner child within yourself that is curious to know how everything works, curious to know what can work for you, curious to see how this is all going to pan out, for it's truly a wonderful ride at an amusement park. You've paid to be on the ride. You got on the roller coaster because you want to experience the highs and the lows and everything in between. You want to experience the ride as a whole. And before we close out, something we'd like to share with you is, when you're in a low, don't be upset about the low. It's like being upset about being in the valley of a roller coaster as you're about to come up and then spin around another curve. You signed up for the ride. You're here for the entirety of the experience, not just the low or the high, or you guys are all high seeking. Oh, I want a high, I want to feel better. I don't want to feel like everything's not working for me. Well, sometimes it's the reality is that sometimes it's really about the balance of all of it. It's the experience. It's like you're on a roller coaster. You're there for the entire 2.5-minute ride. Here on Earth, you're here for the entire 8,500-year ride. You're here for the ride of the experience of your career. You're here for the ride of the experience of your loved ones. You're here for the ride of experience of whatever it is that you're looking to experience. Not just the entirety of the human existence, but also each experience individually and how they add up. So remember at this time that it is a ride, that it's important to be curious, and that curiosity opens all of the avenues for the universe to come very quickly to deliver what it is that you most want, because you've showed up with boats that are empty, ready to accept all of the abundance that the ocean of the universe wants to give you, and you're prepared to receive it. With this, we feel our transmission is complete. Dear ones, remember to breathe in and out. I would take 3 deep breaths at this time to lock this in to your body, to help your body acclimate to this frequency. Breathe in and release. Take a deep breath again and release. And one more time, breathe in and release. Blessed full moon, dear ones. At this time, this transmission is complete. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you loved it, please remember to like the video below, subscribe, and tap that bell for notifications so you don't miss any future energy updates. Also, if you guys are interested, I just announced this in the last video that I shot, but I'm going to be doing Akashic Records readings moving forward. I just started going a little more public with it. So if you're interested, I'm going to drop my information in the description and the first comment below. Just shoot me an email and I will fill you in on the details if you're interested. Until next time, I hope you guys have a really amazing full moon, and I'll see you later. Okay, it's like crystal time. I'm just going to show you guys. This one is like one of my absolute favorites. I'm trying not to get too much glare on it for you to see, but it's really incredible. Really beautiful quartz. It's huge, and it's got some rainbows in there and some relation. I'm super into it. You guys don't see this one very often, but it always hangs out on my desk. It's like always helping me with my with my work and my transmissions.